I hear many people say that what really differs us from animals, for example, or any other living creature, even a microorganism. So anywhere from microorganisms to animals to apes, which are the closest animals to human beings. What really differs animals from us is intelligence. It's not. It's not intelligence. What really differs us from animals is desire. We are the only creatures in the world who are able to desire, which does not mean to have needs. Having needs and desiring are two very different things, because needs you have to solve. And that, okay, makes us similar to animals, right? If we're hungry, we have to eat. If we're thirsty, we have to drink. If we are in trouble, we want to get out of it. If we are being threatened, we have to somehow deal with that situation by either running away or or yeah, getting involved in a fight, for example. Okay, that's the things we do 90% of the time, every day, exactly like any other animal would do. There's nothing wrong with that. But if we keep living on that standard, on fulfilling needs, you're just living like animals. It doesn't mean how intelligent you are, or how much you've studied, how much you've done in your life. You're still an animal. I'm sorry to put it that way, but that's what it is. You see, we are we have in ourselves the capacity to satisfy needs, like animals. Animals know exactly what to do to satisfy needs. There are four basic needs that we all have, like animals, which is flee, fight, feed, and yeah, you got it right. Reproduce. Okay, the four F's. Now, if we spend most of our lives in satisfying these needs, and so we use these instincts, that's exactly what other animals do. But when we desire means to wanting something that we do not need. We want more. Now, our brain is not used to that because our brain is very animalistic. Basically, it's very animalistic. And so desires is not really its job. Desire comes from far, in ourselves, further down in ourselves. It's an inner urge that we feel, that we won't die if we can't aspire or reach or achieve a desire. We won't die, but the quality of our life gets really bad. There is no quality of life. Even for animals, there is no quality of life for animals, because all they have to do is fulfill needs. So when you want something that goes beyond needs, you have to put your brain under pressure, and that's how we become intelligent. You just imagine a caveman who was in a cave, and he was living okay for his standards anyway. He had protection. He could open up a fire so that he could fight the cold. He had food. But then at one point he said, "Can't I make this a little better?" Now that's a desire. So he had to work out a way that his brain was not used to, because for his brain, there were just caves. The brain couldn't imagine of something better than caves, so he had to stretch his mind, and that's how, in the thousands of years, we became more and more intelligent. So, what really makes us different from animals is desire, not intelligence. Intelligence is a consequence of our ability to desire something. Now, business is a place where we can really put into action our desires, relationships and businesses, but perhaps businesses even more. You see, when you give animals what they need, they're fulfilled. And we can, for example, if you have a dog, if you have a pet, any pet, okay, you have to feed him, you have to give him water, you have to, give him everything, give it everything that it needs. And once you fulfill his needs, It's satisfied. It doesn't need more. He's okay. He sleeps. He goes on playing, whatever. But we human beings, if we only work on needs, we will eventually get depressed because we are not designed to fulfill our needs. We are designed to be needed. And that's what business is about. If you are not needed in a business, you do not have a business. It's very simple. And of course, needs are at different levels. You have material needs, you have emotional needs, you have mental needs. To some extent, you have spiritual needs. Okay. And as you grow along this line, along this vertical line, okay, people will more and more identify with your capacity to fulfill their needs and to help them, get out to escape from a certain situation that they do not want because they're in need. And you're there to solve that need. And if you're able to do so, you're going to make more money. But that's not going to make your life better. The quality of your life, it's not the money itself, but the fact that you know that you're needed and that you can, at that time, fulfill those needs. And that gives you a sense of true power, not an egoistic power, not a power where you want to control people, but you feel powerful yourself because that's what we are designed for. We must understand how goals and values work together. Okay, because we know that when we have a goal, we kind of pursue a value somehow. The fact is that we're not conscious of these dynamics. And so when we set ourselves a goal, usually it is a material goal, like having more income, feeling more free, feeling more in control, which are basically animals' instincts. A bit more evolved, but they're basically animal because they're needs. So if you stop to that, in other words, if you set yourself goals only to reach that type of goals, in other words, materialistic goals, you're not going to improve your life. You're going to feel better for a while. And then what happens when you reach that goal? You will want more and more and more of the same thing that you already have. So where are you going there? Perhaps you have $100 in the bank, then you'll have 1,000, then you'll have 100,000, you'll have 1,000,000, then you'll have 1,000,000,000. That's not going to make your life better. Perhaps safer. Why do you need all that money? That's the question. Why would you want to have more money? What is the feeling inside of yourself that pushes you to work more, to have more money? For more freedom? Yeah, even animals want freedom. Every apart plants, but animals that can walk, they want freedom. They don't want to be tied in a prison. So what makes us different? The fact that you can choose what value you want to fulfill. So you start from the value, not from the goal. You must understand what is important for you, which goes beyond materialistic necessities. Because you can be a billionaire, but if you do that because that's going to make you feel more secure or more powerful or more in control, it's not going to make you feel better. It's not. And that's why you want more and more and more, because you say, well, perhaps $10,000 is not enough. When I'll have 100,000, then I know I'll feel more in control. Then you eventually get to 100,000 and you say, yeah, that's better than before, but still I need a little more. I think I need to reach at least 1,000,000. And you go on in life like this without having a real plan, a real reason more than a plan, a real reason for you to do this, to pursue this. And that's tragic. That's pretty tragic. But if you set yourself a value, for example, I don't know, like I'm a coach, right? So growth is for me very, very important. It's important for me. So I need it, but at the same time, I want people to need me to help them grow. That's a totally different story. Do I have to care about materialistic things? I mean, if I am really focused to a point where pursuing that value, so that desire, is so impelling that it becomes almost a need, but it isn't, because you can still live without it. You don't leave growth to live your life. You don't need it, actually. But if you feel it as strong as a need, and you feel the need to be needed so strong, then in that case, you can grow without any restriction, without any limit. And of course, you're going to make more money. But that's the result. That's the effect. It's not the reason. So when you will go from 100,000 to 1,000,000, you will feel fulfilled, because you know that in order for you to go from 100,000 to 1,000,000, you had to work and help many people grow, because you're not going to make that money out of nothing. You have to do something. Okay. So this is how it works, even in business. So now that you've understood these dynamics, how can you make it better for yourself? What is a value that is so important for you that would make you feel fulfilled once you have reached it? That is what you have to think about. What is it? There are so many. There are 3,000 of them, roughly. So you can only choose from them. Go in, Google values, and perhaps you will get a list of values. Choose one that will really, really make you feel like energized and wanting absolutely to reach that state. And you will not reach that state by fulfilling needs for yourself. You will reach that state when you will have helped others reach that state where you are needed, not in need. That's animals. See you next time.